All right, so I am live there. What's going on, folks? I know y'all like what's going on. Yeah, I'm in a. As you can see, I try to set myself up in different spaces, whatever, like that. So I'm not in my typical living room with my man cave region. Um, but appreciate you guys all being here. We're gonna get this thing started as soon as I see something pop up here. All right. So just letting you guys know that. Let me see what happens if I do something here, though. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's not bad either. I'll pop in and out just like that. When they start this stream, you guys will know it. But while you are in here in the meantime, don't forget to double check to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Yes, you guys that are watching right here, you guys, you that are on the phones, make sure y'all hit the like button. Appreciate if you would do that. What we're waiting on is this screen, the show to start right here. That's what we're waiting on. Here, folks, I want to talk to you for a second. We will see. I'll see y'all in here. Missy, there she goes. Said just switched over, Missy. Or Miss Say, 42. We got Freedom in the house, Redacted in the house, and B is in the house. I see a lot of you guys are in here via Mama Don. That's not you. Mama Carol is in the house. I'm sure this is not live, says you. Eugene Rule, a resignation. He already that connection. Bull crap. There we go. I do not. Let me just tell y'all something right now. I built my computer, very high tech stuff, very powerful stuff. I do not have no internet connection issues at all. So if y'all start to see that ring of death again, understand and know that it's YouTube doing it. 100% YouTube doing it. I never have any problems like that until it's something like this. Just letting y'all know that. So again, as soon as this show starts,
I'm going to keep speaking out to protect our kids from gun violence, our planet from climate crisis that is the existential threat. And I will keep fighting for my cancer moonshot so we can end cancer as we know it, because we can do it. And I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is critical to our democracy, Supreme Court reform. You know, I will keep working to ensure America remains strong, secure, and the leader of the free world. I'm the first president in this century to report to the American people that the United States is not at war anywhere in the world. We'll keep rallying a coalition of proud nations to stop Putin from taking over Ukraine, doing more damage. We'll keep NATO stronger, and I'll make it more powerful and more united than any time in all of our history. I'll keep doing the same for our allies in the Pacific. You know, when I came to office, the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. That's not the case anymore. And I'm going to keep working to end the war in Gaza, bring home all the hostages, and bring peace and security to the Middle East and end this war. We're also working around the clock to bring home Americans being unjustly detained all around the world. You know, we've come so far since my inauguration. On that day, I told you, as I stood in that winter, we stood in a winter of peril and a winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities. We were in the grip of the worst pandemic in the century. The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. We came together as Americans. We got through it. We emerged stronger, more prosperous, and more secure. Today, we have the strongest economy in the world, creating nearly 16 million new jobs, a record. Wages are up. Inflation continues to come down. The racial wealth gap is the lowest it's been in 20 years. We're literally rebuilding our entire nation, urban, suburban, rural, and tribal communities. Manufacturing has come back to America. We're leading the world again in chips and science and innovation. We finally beat Big Pharma after all these years to lower the cost of prescription drugs for seniors. And I'm going to keep fighting to make sure we lower the cost for everyone, not just seniors. More people have health care today in America than ever before. And I signed one of those significant laws helping millions of veterans and their families who are exposed to toxic materials. You know, most significant climate law ever in the history of the world. The first major gun safety law in 30 years. Today, the violent crime rate is at a 50-year low. We're also securing our border. Border crossings are lower today than when the previous administration left office.
Bro, what?
I've kept my commitment to appoint the first Black woman to the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
DEI.
I also kept my
Thank
commitment to have an administration that looks like America and be a president for all Americans. That's what I've done. I ran for president 4 years ago.
You got a Botox shot in his
because I
head.
believed and still do that the soul of America was at stake. The very nature of who we are was at stake.
Do they see the teleprompter
That's
words
still the
behind his
case.
head right there on the right side of his head?
America's an idea. An idea stronger than any army, bigger than any ocean, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant. It's the most powerful idea in the history of the world. That idea is that we hold these truths to be self-evident.
You know the
We're all
thing.
created equal. Endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We've never fully lived up to it,
Horror swallow.
to this sacred idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I do not believe the American people will walk away from it now. In just a few months, the American people will choose the course of America's future. I made my choice. I've made my views known. I would like to thank
Y'all
our
hear him
great
swallow?
Vice President Kamala Harris. She's experienced, she's tough, she's capable. She's been an incredible partner to me and a leader for our country. Now the choice is up to you, the American people. When you make that choice, Remember the words of Benjamin Franklin hanging on my wall here in the Oval Office, alongside the busts of Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Cesar Chavez. When Ben Franklin was asked, as he emerged from the convention going on, whether the founders have given America a monarchy or republic, Franklin's response was, a republic, if you can keep it. A republic, if you can keep it. Whether we keep our republic is now in your hands. My fellow Americans, it's been the privilege of my life to serve this nation for over 50 years. Nowhere else on earth could a kid with a stutter from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, one day sit behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. But here I am. That's what's so special about America. We're a nation of promise and possibilities, of dreamers and doers, of ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things. I've given my heart and my soul to our nation, like so many others. I've been blessed a million times in return with the love and support of the American people. I hope you have some idea how grateful I am to all of you. The great thing about America is here, kings and dictators do not rule, the people do. History is in your hands. The power is in your hands. The idea of America lies in your hands.
The idea.
You just have to keep faith, keep the faith. And remember who we are. We're the United States of America.
That'll be all I can pass.
And there's simply nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. So let's act together. Preserve our democracy. God bless you all. May God protect our troops.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it. What the heck was that? That's it? What the actual heck was that? Hold on. Hold the front door. Hold on. I'm going back, y'all. That was.
And working for the American people. Thomas Jefferson, Americans. I'm speaking to you tonight from behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space, I'm surrounded by portraits of extraordinary American presidents. Thomas Jefferson wrote the immortal words that guide this nation. George Washington, who showed us presidents are not kings. Abraham Lincoln, who implored us to reject malice. Franklin Roosevelt, who inspired us to reject fear. I revere this office.
What?
I love my country more. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think it's more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people. But this sacred task of perfecting our union is not about me. It's about you, your families, your futures. It's about we, the people. We can never forget that. And I never have. I've made it clear that I believe America is at an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine our fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. America's going to have to choose between moving forward or backward, between hope and hate.
Well, in case y'all didn't notice, any of you that voted for him in 2020, you did choose to move backwards. So, yeah, you chose to move backwards. If you voted for President Biden in 2020, you chose to move backwards. That's exactly what you did. You chose to move backwards.
Between unity and division, we have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy? In this moment, we can see those we disagree with not as enemies, but as fellow Americans.
You can even say,
does character in public life still matter? I believe I know the answer to these questions because I know you, the American people. And I know this: We are a great nation because we are good people.
No, sir.
When you elected me to this office,
We didn't.
I promised to always level with you,
You didn't.
to tell you the truth.
You didn't.
And the truth, the sacred cause of this country is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause, cherish it so much, the cause of American democracy itself, must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me
What you doing with your hand, bro?
I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. There's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices.
Laughing voices. You know, whenever Joe called me, you know, Joe, he wanted to talk to me about those diagrams in those three circles. And what Joe initially told me is that you know, when you think about the passages of the significance of time, that the significance of time, they come in different parts of your life. And when you pass on that time, you must think about tomorrow as if it were yesterday, because actually your yesterday is what today is. You guys, right?
It's time to pass the torch down to the younger generation of the people that can actually carry on the torch. People can.
What in the world? Yeah, right. And Kamala Harris, if y'all don't know this, President Biden, them are being sued right now because of the fact of what they're trying to do. You, according to the FEC, you cannot pass on your funds for who the people chose to be their primary, which was President Biden. No one chose Kamala Harris. Nobody chose Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was chosen for you guys. For those of you that are watching right now, listening, Kamala Harris was chosen for you. You didn't choose her. They chose her. During the debates back in 2016, nobody even wanted Kamala Harris. You, the American people, didn't even want Kamala Harris. I say this all the time when I'm coaching people as far as what they want in life, you know, for themselves, for their what they may want in a wife, et cetera, et cetera. But what I always tell people, do you know exactly what it is that you want, or have you been told what to want? When Kamala Harris was first running, nobody wanted her. That the Democrats didn't want her, nobody wanted her. Nobody even can figure out how Joe Biden even picked Kamala Harris. They can't even figure it out who picked her, and they just can't figure out why he picked her. So what I'm saying therefore is, you, the American people that are even part of the Democratic Party, you guys didn't even want Kamala Harris. Now with Joe Biden dropping out and passing this along, and they are making her the Democratic nominee. Ladies and gentlemen of the Democratic Party, all you guys that voted for President Biden during the primaries, you guys got Kamala Harris. She is installed. You guys didn't get to pick her. You guys didn't get to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, who are other candidates besides her? They gave you Kamala Harris, and now they're in trouble because, let me see if I can find this for you guys. I think my guy Let me get myself back up here. He's trying to pass on $90 million. President Biden is of his campaign money to Kamala Harris. But the problem with that is the donors are like, we didn't pick her. We gave our money to you, President Biden. We didn't give our money to Kamala Harris. So a lot of people, it's a possibility that a lot of these people are wanting their money back. They got tricked. Where you at, Tim Pool? Where you at, Pool? Bear with me, folks. I'm trying to find them. So just give me a second. There we go. And as you guys, let's see. He just posted this today because I know I seen like a. Here we go.
Being able to have something to always protect myself with this Byrna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter where we're really at.
It provides you with peace of mind. Not only
the full resources that the Harris for President campaign has appeared on your recent social media. Democrats' official nominee yet, election contribution by making campaign active.
Ooh, this is a
Jeez.
tough choice, but I can't go like this. I'll give up my sword.
To maximum 33. I think it's 3,300 right now. Is that what it was? Bring Biden's campaign funds to Harris's campaign. Commission on Tuesday against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, which accused the president and vice president of violating campaign finance laws by transferring Biden's campaign funds to Harris's campaign. And I questioned this. I was like, how is that legally allowed? They're two different people. The question I brought up was, if someone can give Joe Biden $100, no, it's a maximum 33. I think it's 3,300 right now. Is that what it was? Or something like that. And then Joe Biden goes, I'm dropping out of the race. Kamala, you can have my money. Well, I've never donated to Kamala. Can't I give her another? No, that's double the maximum. So how is this possible? Quote, Kamala Harris is seeking to perpetrate a $91.5 million heist of Joe Biden's leftover campaign cash, a brazen money grab that would constitute the single largest excessive contribution and biggest violation in the history of the Federal Election Campaign Act of 1971, as amended. David Warrington, the Trump campaign's general counsel, wrote in the complaint per New York Times. He said that Biden and Harris were flagrantly violating the act by making and receiving an excessive contribution of nearly $100 million, and for filing fraudulent forms to the commission purporting to repurpose one candidate's principal campaign committee for the use of another candidate. Warrington continued, to date, Biden for president has provided no indication that it will return or redesignate all of its general election contributions. Thus, each and every general election contribution received by Biden for president is an excessive contribution. In essence, he argued that Harris is not the Democrats' official nominee yet, and Biden cannot keep the general election funds he received if he is no longer a general election candidate. The lawyer asked for a prompt response from the FEC on the matter, as Harris is in the process of committing the largest campaign finance violation in American history, and she is using the commission's own forms to do it. A Biden spokesman did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Times. An FEC spokeswoman said the agency could not comment on pending enforcement matters. But we have this from Patrick Webb. Patrick Webb on X, who is comms for Leading Report, says, Democrats are asserting the legality of transferring Biden's campaign funds to Kamala Harris's campaign and are requesting the FEC uphold the interpretation of the law. This follows questions raised by FEC Chairman Sean Cooksey, who maintains that such transfers are illegal and against FEC campaign finance laws, insisting that the funds should be returned to donors. This is a letter from not just Democrats, actually mostly Republicans, but this is the 118th Congress of the United States Committee on House Administration. And they write, Dear Chair Cooksey, as ranking member of the committee charged with oversight of the Federal Election Commission, I write to clarify a possible misrepresentation that appeared on your recent social media activity that may sow misguided doubt and confusion about the state of presidential election and the commission's impartiality. On July 21st, 2024, in light of President Biden's patriotic decision to prioritize the well-being of the nation over his own political ambition, you posted on X a contextless quote from 11 CFR. A reasonable observer could interpret the post, for which you provided no explanation or analysis, as to imply that Vice President Harris may not be entitled to the finances from a campaign for which she has been named candidate for almost 4 years. Further, your comments on National Public Radio yesterday morning seem to invite administrative challenges and litigation concerning the issue, which is unnecessary given the clarity of the law and will, if done for purely partisan purposes, increase the acrimony and division in our political system. So actually, it sounds like this letter is saying she should be able to keep them.
Okay, so y'all pretty much got an idea of what I'm talking about there, right? So that's the whole problem there is that you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that at all. Let me get to these super chats here and I'll let you guys go because that was I thought Biden was going to talk way more than that, actually. It says, mark my words, once the day comes when the man of the minority leaves the Dems, folk will see how quick they'll turn on you. Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely. Lumpy Grits again with the $5 super chat says, I'm extremely proud of the people that have finally realized that they were duped into Jim Crowing themselves. 100%. All right, folks, I appreciate you guys all hanging out. I know there's a lot of weird stuff that was going on during this entire stream, whatever like that. Make sure before y'all get out of here that y'all hit that thumbs up button. All right, I really appreciate if you would do that. And y'all know how I end all of my videos, and I really mean it. I am Ty Smith, Mono Renaissance Man, and I do hope and pray that every last one of you guys that are listening to me, I hope and pray that every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing, and most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.